We are good to go.
Yes, good evening. I'd like to call the Tuesday, June 13th, 2023 meeting of the Planning Commission to order. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Happy June to you all. Okay. First item of business is roll call. Let the record reflect all commissioners are here with the exception of Commissioner Aguilar. Item number B is the approval of the minutes of the regular Planning Commission meeting of May 9th, 2023. A motion would be in order.
I'll move to approve.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of May 5th or 9th. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? None. And okay, so the motion passes 4 ayes and 1 absence. Written communications. Any written communications there, sir?
No written communications this evening.
Very good. Oral communications. This is the time when members of the public are invited to address the Planning Commission on any item not listed on the agenda. Public comments are generally limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Please note that the state law prohibits the commission from acting on any non-agenda items. Anyone in the audience wanting to speak on anything that's not on the agenda? Nope. Okay, we'll close oral communications. Item number E is public hearings. E1, public hearing to consider U2023-001, a conditional use permit for a temporary commercial entertainment fear overload haunted house at New Park Mall, located at 2086 New Park Mall, suite number 1149, APN 901-11125. The subject site is zoned RC, regional commercial, with a new park specific plan overlay district. Okay, we have a presentation.
All right. Good evening, Chairperson and Commissioners. Before I go further, let me presentation on. There you go. So this is the Fear Overload Haunted House event inside New Park Mall, located at 2086 New Park Mall, Suite 1149. Before I dive into my presentation, I want to inform you that the applicant did obtain a Plan Commission approval of a conditional use permit for a similar event on August 9th, 2022. From what I heard, last year's event went very well. I talked with the police department. They informed me that there were no issues since there were adequate security staffing provided on site. So tonight's agenda, I'm going to go over the project summary and site information, the site plan, the floor plan, CEQA exemption, recommendations, and then going over any questions you may have. So the applicant is Nathan Polanco of Fear Overload LLC, and the applicant is requesting Planning Commission approval of the resolution to approve a conditional use permit for a temporary commercial entertainment at New Park Mall. The event would be open on selected days for a total of 30 days from September 23rd through November 4th of this year. The hours of operations would vary by day, where opening hours would be either 5:30 p.m., 6 p.m., or 7 p.m., and closing hours would be either 9 p.m., 10 p.m., or 12 a.m. The event is subject to the temporary use standards in the zoning code, and as part of the standards, an approval of a conditional use permit is required for an event that would be up to a total of 30 days, so as long as it is determined not to impact neighboring uses or otherwise create significant impacts. The project site is zoned RC, regional commercial, with the New Park Place specific plan overlay district, and has a general plan designation of regional commercial. The project site is bounded by Maury Avenue, Cedar Boulevard, Ballantyne Drive, and the 880 freeway. The haunted house event would occupy an existing 7,500 square foot tenant space inside the mall. The internal operations would consist of a walkthrough attraction that would be filled with unique Halloween-related themes. Each walkthrough session would be about 12 minutes long. The applicant is anticipating about 450 customers on peak nights and about 325 customers on non-peak nights. Depending on the days, the applicant would have 3 security guards on slow nights and 8 security guards on busy nights. Staffing would consist about 25 seasonal employees, and on a given night, about 20-25 employees would be working. The estimated number of people, both attendees and employees, to occupy the space at one time would be about 130 people. The security guards and employees who would be trained to act in response of an emergency would make sure the event would operate in a safe and efficient manner. The mall currently has over 5,000 parking spaces. The parking in front of the former Sears building is typically underutilized. Customers would be encouraged to park their vehicles along that area of the mall, as shown in yellow, between 24 Hour Fitness and Sears. Overall, the mall would have reasonable amount of parking for the event. Interior improvements would be proposed, which include installing wood partition walls for the walkthrough areas. No exterior improvements would be proposed. The event is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to Section 15301, which is for existing facilities that involves minor alterations and insignificant expansion of use, and Section 15061, as it can be seen with certainty that there is no possibility that the activity in question may have significant effect on the environment. Therefore, no further environmental review is required. So the event would comply with the applicable provisions of the zoning code and New Park Place specific plan, and that it would be compatible with the characteristics of the surrounding neighborhood, would not unreasonably affect adjacent properties, their owners and occupants, or the surrounding neighborhood, and lastly, would not impact the adjacent businesses inside the mall. Also, the city has not received any written correspondence on this project. Based on staff analysis, the required findings can be made in the affirmative for the conditional use permit. With that said, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve by resolution conditional use permit U 2023-001 based on the findings provided in the draft resolution. That concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I do want to let you know that the applicant is here tonight and is available to answer any questions too. And thank you.
Great. Well, thank you. Excellent presentation. One of the things I liked best is that they had done this before and there was no problem. So today should be not a problem either. So are there any questions of staff before I open the public hearing?
I'd like to ask whether last year it also was open till midnight on certain days?
It was.
And you didn't find any problems with that? Any like drunkenly behavior?
No, I mean, we've been doing it this will be our 15th year, so we've always been open till midnight.
Great.
Okay, so I'll open the public hearing now. So as customary, we'll have the applicant come up and state your name and address clearly for the recorder. Great. And have you read the attached resolution and agree to all the conditions therein?
I have, and yes.
Great. Any questions of the applicant while we have them up here? Any follow-up with that?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay. Great. So it looks great. So, okay. Thank you very much. That's all we need right now. Anyone else in the audience wanting to comment on this item? On the Fear Overload Haunted House. That's a nice name. I like that.
It's very extreme.
It's got a chilling effect, but that's super. Okay, no one in the audience wants to comment, so I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission. Any discussion? Any motions?
Just wanted to say thank you for choosing Newark for this. Oh, yeah, thank you.
Love it.
Yeah. Any other questions of the applicant? Nope. Okay, I think a motion would be in order.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, it's been moved.
A second.
And seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries 4 ayes and 1 absence. Thank you very much. Now, do we make the final decision on this, or does it go to the council?
Nope, planning commission is the decision.
We're
maker.
numero uno here. Okay, great. Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, well, thank you very much, and good luck with your project. I understand it went pretty well with you, and that's good. Welcome to Newark again. Okay, I think we're moving right along on the agenda. Item number F is staff reports. Any additional staff reports there, sir?
None this evening.
Commission matters, report on city council actions.
I just want to let the commission know that the city council will be considering the Mulberry residential project at the regular meeting on June 22nd. The commission may recall that you reviewed that project, I believe, last month and recommended approval to council. So that will be on the June 22nd council meeting, if you're interested. Nothing else to report regarding council actions.
Great. Okay, item number H is planning commissioner comments. Any long-winded comments? No?
No long-winded, I'll just make a short comment. This item that was a public hearing tonight, I would recommend that if staff could, these are relatively routine matters. The applicant has to jump through a lot of hoops, it appears. So is there some way that staff could simplify, streamline the process where perhaps they wouldn't have to come back, have a public hearing, seek a finding, conditional use permit, and so forth?
Certainly. The reason that we typically process these types of temporary events is that it is in the code, so we're following the code for this particular use. The other option would be to issue a conditional use permit on a permanent basis for the mall or for this spot. And as long as the operator meets the conditions of approval and operates in a safe manner, that no additional need for city approval would be required. So I think staff will look into that possibility next year if the applicant and the operator want to come back to Newark and operate there. And I think we might come back to the Planning Commission one more time for a more permanent conditional use permit, and then from there on, as long as they abide by the conditions, then they wouldn't have to come back to the city. So we'll try to streamline it in that way, perhaps.
So staff would still be able to look at it, add any conditions if necessary, or call it up for approval if
Or, yes, we'll call it up for approval or revocation if we find that they are not meeting the conditions and are not cooperating with the city.
Great, thank you.
Any other comments? I just one comment. I recall that we had a similar item several years ago, and they sent out the public hearing notice for the haunted house at the mall. And the high school came down with a couple of student leaders, and they were also having a haunted house at their high school at the same time. And they just made oral comments, and they wanted to see if there's any way they could adjust the hours or everything. So there was really no problem at all. But the end result is, I believe the applicant was able to lend some of their props to the high school to help with their production over there. So maybe sometimes these public hearings can do well, but whatever works out the best too. But that's just a little history down the road there.
Certainly, and staff would be more than happy to facilitate a discussion or a relationship between the high school and the operator if there's some interest there from both parties, for sure.
Good. Okay, good piece of business there. Okay, if there's no further comments, this meeting is now adjourned.